Good morning, my people. You're welcome to today's political discussion. Today is the 28th of October 2025, and we are still discussing Nigerian politics. Now, the Yorubas are giving the Fulanis silent treatment in Yorubaland. I repeat, the Yorubas are giving the Fulanis silent treatment in Yorubaland. When we say Yorubaland, we are talking about some parts of Delta, Kogi, Kwara State, and the 6 states of the southwest. That is Yorubaland. Look at Kwara today. You are not hearing of any insecurity because of the silent treatment that is being given to the Fulani terrorists and bandits in Yorubaland. I want to ask the Sultan of Sokoto a very important question. Why is it that the Fulanis are not affected by this insecurity? Why is it that the Fulanis are not complaining that their farms are being invaded, that terrorists, bandits are attacking them? Why is it that it is only the Yorubas, the Igbos, Hausas, and other tribes that complain about the Fulani? In Nigeria of today, if you want to survive, you need to use the non-kinetic approach. That is what the Yorubas are using for the Fulanis today. You don't make noise. You give them the silent treatment, then they will adjust. There's a Yoruba song that says, "We're laughing over." That means you use madness to cure madness. You see, the Sultan of Sokoto, religious leaders in northern Nigeria, and the Fulani hegemony, they might be playing politics with the lives of people because they have an agenda. And for many years, they have consistently pursued that agenda, whether politicians, whether professors, whether scientists. So far that they are from that Fulani hegemony, they have pursued the agenda of taking over people's lands and Islamizing Nigeria. So since they have infiltrated the government of the day, you need to use silent treatment for them. In the next 3 months, you may not hear about any kind of attacks in Kwara and some other parts of Kogi because the adoption of a silent treatment is the antidote to the madness of these guys. No matter what you do, if like let Tinubu appoint and appoint service chiefs, the Fulani is hell-bent on achieving their mandate, which is to make sure that they undermine your cultural heritage, take your land, and also Islamize you, put you under bondage. That is their ultimate assignment. If Tinubu had sacked all the service chiefs and put another one, if he does it like 2 to 3 times, this does not stop the Fulani from doing what they have been doing. For the past 20 years, the Fulani have consistently attacked people in their hometown, in their farmlands. What are the reasons? So the silent treatment that is being used by the ESN before the government of the day intervened under Buhari, before they sabotaged ESN, they had to force Umahi and Co. to create another Ebuwagu that has a Fulani that can be infiltrated by the Fulani-led Buhari government to crush ESN. ESN, they were in the forest. Although unknown to the government of Buhari, they were in the forest and they were doing the Lord's work against these people that are bent on destroying the nations in Nigeria. So go to Kwara today. Although, like I said, the Fulani, their intention is to come to a place when they attack you, they put fear in your mind. It become horror. You cannot go back to that place. When there are killings in a particular community, killings upon killings, it becomes a nightmare to the people. They don't want to return to that particular place. That is what the Fulani want to achieve. And I want to ask this question again. Why is it that these places that are being ravaged by bandits, the Fulani find it as a place they can stay peacefully? The Fulanis find it as a place they can stay peacefully. I am not saying that the Fulanis are not affected by insecurity. Yes, there are some Fulanis that are against what their fellow brothers are doing. But if you see any killings, most of the time, 80% of the time, you see any killings on Fulani, it is reprisal attacks. Reprisal attacks. Today, as we speak, the Fulani is one of the most hated tribes in Nigeria. The Hausa don't like them. Their neighbors don't like them. In fact, if a Fulani comes to an environment, people are always vigilant because of the image, the name they have made for themselves. And they are unapologetic over that. You see the government of Tinubu had to make sure that he crippled the Fulani. He cut their wings so that he can see road. Because if he does not do that, I believe you me, the Fulani will have been... Look at El-Rufai. I am coming to believe that it was the best choice for the government not to involve El-Rufai in the cabinet, because if El-Rufai were to be in that cabinet, in Tinubu's cabinet, Tinubu would have found it very difficult very difficult. He will have had no option that to even sack an El-Rufai. And if he sacks an El-Rufai, he will look as if that that sentiment that why do you sack El-Rufai? So it was good that they did not even clear him in the first place. So the Fulani, whether they are politicians, whether they are professors, whether they are scientists, whether they are imams, whether they are traditional rulers, they have one goal, and that is to inflict pain on the peoples of Nigeria until the people of Nigeria succumb to them. So what the Yorubas are doing in Yorubaland, North Southwest, is one thing that is commendable, and that is what everybody needs to adopt. That should be the survival strategy of everyone in the southern part of this country. Because these guys, they look like cancer. They look like cancer. They are very stubborn. They don't go until you beat them down. You beat them down. If you are in any community and you are relying on the established security structure of Nigeria to protect you, my brother, you might be standing on a long thing. You need to improvise means. You see, most times when people catch all these kidnappers, these terrorists, they will use phone and be doing camera, be televising, whatever. If you use phone, if you expose their identities, there is every likelihood that these guys may be freed by the system. That is why if you catch them unawares, you send them to their maker unawares. If somebody is a terrorist, he doesn't deserve to terrorize you again. You make sure that he does not have the ability to terrorize you again. In Edo State, a certain Aboki Fulani cut the hand of an indigenous of Edo State. They took the Aboki to the police. They play 1-2. They were playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Before you know, they released the Hausa person. On what grounds? Now, have you had an issue or a case with the Fulani or the Northerner in southern part of Nigeria? You understand that they have support structures from a Fulani or a Northerner will brag to you that he has the number of his governor. If you have lived in the south or southwest, they brag to you that they have their number of their governor. They can call their governor, and the governor will make calls to the police station, and things will just go to their favor. And you see how they, for instance, now, when I was selling market, I was the time I was selling market for my mom. There are some abokis that will use a bike used to sell. When the police come to clear people out of the road, or they arrest some of those people that are staying on the road, you see how these Hausa people operate? They have some baba way there for back. They are not there just by that. They have people that are connected. Anything that happens to them, they make calls. These people will come and find a way to resolve everything. Most likely, those guys will not even sleep inside cell. There are times that a bike person will kill an Agberu or a Yoruba Agberu. Will kill. They will shut down the whole market. They will say those guys should not come again. The same men that are their patrons will still come back and come and rescue them. That's how they have connections everywhere. So if you have an issue with an average, my God. So the only thing is the silent treatment that they need. That's what they need. When they see that they are getting the silent treatment, they are planning that if you catch a Fulani kidnapper today, his prayer is that you should televise him and hand him over to the police. That is his prayer. I tell you, look at Tinubu's template of displacing the Fulani. He's doing it silently. He's making sure that he's doing it. You cannot point to, you don't have evidence against him that he's doing this. So whatever you are doing, make sure you protect yourself. Don't make sure that, for instance, a thief comes to my house, kills my dog, destroys and goes away. He comes the next time. I will make sure that he does whatever I can do. I will make sure that he does not have the capability to come to my house again. That is the treatment you need to give to bandits and terrorists. Now, when you look at the Christian genocide, the Fulani don't complain about genocide. It is every other people that are complaining about communities in Benue State. You will complain about Fulani is not directly affected. They feel safe in today's Nigeria because they are the aggressors. And they have Baba, like the traditional, they have their traditional leaders, they have their religious leaders, they have their political leaders, yes, they have their economic leaders that back them up in whatever they are doing. That's why it's important. If you are doing anything, you must have a kind of backup in Nigeria. Now that Yorubas have a backup, and look at the reforms that Tinubu is doing, let me even say it. I will not say everything. I will say it in code. Maybe you understand. Notice, every critical position is being restructured. I will not say more than that. You put your interest, so that nothing can happen. Just take, for instance, the appointment of the service chiefs. Do you see any Fulani there? Look at the economy. Minister of Finance and Central Bank Governor and the others. Do you see any Fulani there? Anywhere you make sure that these guys, should they say INEC chairman go come from north. Should be not from north. Should be not Kogi. NMPC MD CEO, you go come from north. Should be not Kwara. Kwara is northern Nigeria. So you have nothing to start arguing about it. You have nothing to argue about it. So see, carefully you displace these guys. You look at structures they have. Now we have a southern president. That's why I'm calling for Tinubu to restructure Nigeria. Make sure that if he's displacing the Fulanis, they will never have any chance to raise their heads again. Every influential position, every DPO, every police station, every strategic formation, military formation, let it be led by a strategic person. Let it not, because if it were Igbos that were causing the mayhem the Fulanis are causing today, only God knows what will have happened to the Igbos. They will never even say Igbos can never be. Ordinary civil war that was planned, that was planned and sabotaged by the West. They say Igbo will never rule again. Some people said the Naira, N-A-I-R-A, never allow Igbo rule again. Just that, you can see the sentiment according to Shore about the Igbo. Not to talk of, maybe the Igbo are the ones that, like the Fulani, that are threatening, causing security, that Nigeria has spent trillions of Naira. They lose their ammunition, they lose their soldiers. If it were the Igbos that were in that Fulani position, only God knows. P2B will never even smell. No, they will never allow Igbo leaders rest. But despite the fact that the Fulanis have become a major menace to security in Nigeria and our economy, they elected Buhari. They are appointing them as Minister of State for Defense. They are getting all sorts of juicy posts, despite the fact that their people are the architect. Their people are the architect. If it were the Yorubas, only God knows. You saw what Buhari wanted to do to Sunday Igboho. You saw the move to eliminate that guy. Even they had the opportunity to just bring him down. You saw. But if it is his own brothers, they were forcing Buhari. Designate these people as terrorists now. Everybody have done. Gazette it now. They were pressuring him. They pressure him until, if they did not pressure him, he would just do as if he doesn't know that these bandits, these Boko Haram people, they must be, they are supposed, for a long time ago, they are supposed to be designated as a terrorist organization. So, anywhere you see their stronghold, when you see their stronghold, make sure you displace them. Let them not have the capacity. Let people follow the Fulani template. They make sure they position their people in power at different strategic positions. It's helped them foster whatever. The Fulanis are intelligent too. Forget all those people that are Bororo or those ones that they say they are in the bush. Have you met a Fulani that went to school? Have you had a conversation with Fulani that went to real school? You go shock, you say Fulani, they are super highly extraordinary intelligent and very smart and very fine and good looking and very calmly and very calm. They are very, forget the people you see in the bush. So they know what they do strategically. They fix themselves so that they can be able to weigh you down. That's why if I see Tinubu, I didn't support APC. I did not support Tinubu during the election. But I saw the handwriting on the wall whereby he was dealing with the Fulanis. I said, now here we go pack our boss. Come and bring my dining table here and bring me ofen sala and apple. Now here we go finish the whole thing. So anything that he's doing today, communities are copying it. This is a template of how to deal with the Fulani. I tell you, if Tinubu wins that second term, all this one, Southern Sokoto is still having mouth to talk. Time is coming. You see, everybody's talking about time is coming. In northern Nigeria, major shake-up between the Hausa. Hausa don't give Fulani quit notice like 3-4 times. They'll say it's a lie. Don't worry. It go clear for everybody eye. See, we are going to make sure that we educate and inform people. Form a narrative to make sure that people are enlightened about the gimmicks, the manipulation, the mago of a particular people that they don't want Nigeria to go to the promised land. Yes. Today now, in UK, I think it is the Irish. Is the Irish people, they are asking for referendum. They have voted. 55% says that they don't want to be part of Britain again. United Kingdom. They don't want to be part of United Kingdom again. If somebody from Biafra say he doesn't want to be part of Nigeria again, the Fulani will come and tell us that the unity of Nigeria is not negotiable. The same UK, the Great Britain, the Irish are saying that they don't want to be part. The Irish that are even Britain, they don't want to be part. They are not saying anything. So if you don't allow these guys whine you, my brother. Today's Nigeria, everybody needs to start looking back at himself. Whatever you can use to develop yourself while you establish a relation across board. Because also you need cooperation. As I said, the Yoruba and Igbo fight is not really what we need to start talking about, because if it's SOP, this Oyibo where they look so, if it's SOP, they don't send you whether you are Igbo or Yoruba. They classify all of that together. They go deal with now, respectively. So far that you people are not willing to develop, willing to be liberated, because that's what the Fulani wants. The Fulani wants to be the taskmaster of the colonialists. They want Nigeria the same way it is. So if we're having fight between Igbo and Yoruba, and you want to have Yoruba nation, do you think it's going to be possible? Or there's fight between Yoruba and Igbo, and you want to have your Biafra, do you think you are going to have it smoothly? In fact, the Yorubas are the ones even keeping Nigeria together today. The Yorubas are the ones. Igbos don't already hands off. They're already ready. Forget the leaders. Forget them. All those on there. When it's time to push for referendum and dissolution, you know that Igbos are ready. Forget what is happening. No. So the Yorubas are the ones that they are waiting for them to have the green light. If they put the green light, bam. If the green light is being put, my brother, you will now see. The Yorubas are the ones keeping Nigeria together. As it is. As it were. Because most people are tired. Most people are tired. The Yorubas are even part of, like, they want to use, they are using Nigeria at this point in time to develop the southwest region, which is a fair game in politics. If you are a politician, you understand what I'm saying. You are accusing Yorubas of being so politically savvy that they have used whatever they can, because this is a competition. Some people fail to realize Awolowo never wanted to align with northern Nigeria. It was Zig that wanted to become father of Africa. He forgot that he had a people that he needs to attend to. See, when I remember Igbo leaders, I sometimes get so annoyed. I get so annoyed. So today's Nigeria, it is you looking inwards, and make sure you preserve your culture and heritage, because as you did now, you won't live normal life. There are some people that are bent on make sure that you don't exist as a Yoruba person. You don't exist as an Igbo person. Look at what happened in Edo State. The Hausa guys that were ambushed because of the weapons they were having. Look at what the northern governors did. Kano State governor, who is the Fulani, look at what they did. They summoned the Edo State governor, and he went there. And we were very serious about that. Northerners, if they are pushing for anything as a region, they will tell you northern interest must be included. Northern interest. Why is it that you are demonizing other people? The North now, when Buhari was there, he picked his Northerners and everything. But now, Tinubu did there now, they complain. You now come out to protest. During Buhari, no protest. You see the hypocrisy. Don't let anybody whine you with hypocrisy. The reality here is that if you cannot protect your father's land, somebody is coming to destroy it and take over and build his own structure there. Imagine how people change history or distort culture. If Fulani comes to a village, small fight, blah blah blah, killings, jihad and everything, they run in from a village. Fulani come and camp inside that village and build structures. And those structures stay for the next 20, 30, 40 years. Fulani will rename that place and call it their own place. That's what they do. That's what they do for a living. And these are bandits. This is another scale of banditry. Man, my ancestral home, somebody will come because he has a superior whatever it is. He collaborates with other people to push me out, and he comes here, he builds on my father's house, and he stays there with the F-13 for a very long time. And after a long time, he starts claiming the history of that place. You go to Wikipedia. When they insert themselves in every institution, every strategic position, they'll just distort your history. And when you keep quiet, when something happens over and over again, it becomes a norm. Just like you as a young child, they call you a particular name. Christian. From there, it becomes your identity, because at the first day they started calling that name, they were consistent about calling that name. They consistently call you that same name. That's how it is. When they come and take over your whatever it is, they constantly stay there. And they constantly push the agenda until it becomes a norm. You say, na Fulani get that place. That's how the Sultan Sokoto is fighting against the Zar people in Bauchi. Tafawa Balewa is fighting against them. Their land, though, but because they gave Fulani an opportunity to stay there, they gave them allowance to stay there. Now they are the ones fighting against people from having their own chiefdom. Haba. It's because we allowed all these things. That's why they have the F-13. So as it is in the Southwest, everybody knows the strategy they are going to use for the Fulani, bandits and terrorists. In my village, we know the strategy. They may attack once, but we'll make sure that that attack will be dealt with within the root. We'll make sure that they don't have... Look at what Alex Oti did at Lopanta. A lot of things will address that. May God help Nigerians.